After touring the 5 boroughs of New York City with 5 fantastic mirrorless cameras, it's time to sit down and give you my overall thoughts.
Hey everyone, doing the 5-part mirrorless review series in the 5 boroughs of Manhattan was so much fun, but I thought it would be useful to run through and tell you my overall thoughts on all of these 5 cameras side by side before I return them. Okay, so first of all, a little disclaimer, Adorama, the camera shop and the rental store helped me out with getting all of these cameras, but there was no strings attached. I dealt with them rather than dealing with the 5 manufacturers because that was easier to do it logistically, and there was absolutely no conditions on what I had to say, include anything like that. They just gave it to me for the 2 weeks to test, film, and that was it. So with that said, these are all my own thoughts, and it's based on having played with them over the 2 weeks and then having at least an intensive day to shoot with them on almost all of them, though I've used them a fair bit in the past as well. So let's do this alphabetically. First of all is the Fuji. Now this is the XT1. I consider it their current flagship, but it actually isn't. The Pro line is the highest end, and that's likely to be the next one to be updated. This one is $1,300 in the US. It's 16 megapixels, an APS-C size sensor. The main things that this has going for it, it's the lightest of the group at 390 grams, all body stripped out, just the body, no battery, no card. That's the weight I'll be mentioning for all of these. The Wi-Fi works amazingly well, the best of any system I've tested for a camera. The viewfinder is absolutely astonishing. It's great for a camera full stop, let alone for a mirrorless EVF camera. It's the biggest, the brightest. It's really quite good to use. The image quality is really nice. It does have a headphone port for video, although video is not its strong point. It has a mic input, sorry, not a headphone port, but it's not the standard size, which I found annoying. I didn't have an adapter, so I couldn't actually use the mic input. Other features, this one only goes up to 1/4000th of a second maximum shutter speed, and the 6 speed is lower at around 160, 180. That said, overall, given what I said in the full review, if I were to pick one of these to actually purchase for myself, this is probably the one I would go for on balance. The styling, the handling, the image quality, the features, and that Wi-Fi connectivity and the great EVF really do it for me. From the least expensive to the most expensive, from the lightest to the heaviest, now it's the Leica M240. This is a beast. It's 680 grams and it's $7,000 US, no lenses. The lenses quickly stack up from there. This is a 24 megapixel CMOS sensor. It's their first time using a CMOS sensor in the M lineup. It's their first one with focus peaking, and it's their first one that has video capabilities. The peaking works quite well. The video is really ordinary, no headphone, no mic input. Again, this one is a rangefinder, of course, so it has a rangefinder viewfinder, not an EVF or a DSLR style mirrored pentaprism viewfinder. Look, there is something special about Leica. See that episode to see my full discussion on that one. I got to shoot this with a whole range of beautiful lenses, and whilst it is nice to use as a throwback for, the film era, if you're not familiar with shooting rangefinder, if you're not familiar with shooting manual, you could really struggle with this, and it is still lacking a lot of direct access to controls and features that I find really useful. Some people won't miss that, some will. But at $7,000, it's, more than triple the next most expensive one in the lineup, and it is hard to justify unless you're already in the Leica system. The lenses are amazing, they're legendary, and they've earned it. I was lucky to shoot with a bunch of great lenses, including the Summilux 50mm, the Noctilux 50mm, 35s and whatnot. I have to say, on balance, having used the Noctilux for a long time, it's a 0.95 and it's over $10,000, I'd actually choose the Summilux. Forgetting the price differential, I think that the image performance coming off the Summilux is better, and you're really just paying that premium for the Noctilux badge and the fact that it goes to 0.95. If there's times where that would be great for you, that's great. But getting something in sharp focus, even with the peaking, is incredibly difficult. And I think at 1.4 side by side, the Summilux and the Noctilux, the Summilux wins it anyway. Next up is the dinky little Olympus. This one is 443 grams, so it's the second lightest and it's the second cheapest, or least expensive, at $1,400. This one has a bigger range of features. It's got the Wi-Fi, it's got the weather sealing, just like the XT1 does, but this one will go up to 1/8000th of a second, and I think it will do a longer maximum shutter speed as well. This is their flagship camera in terms of their mirrorless range. So they've thrown everything at this one. This was to replace the hugely popular EM5 already. So it is a really well equipped camera. On this one, the main things for me are the stabilization worked beautifully and the focus is just fantastic. It is micro four thirds, so that means it's got a 2x crop factor. So take that into account when you're looking at your lens focal lengths. It's a great camera. The ergonomics are quite good. I do find the button layout not as pleasing as the XT1, but if you're looking for something with blazing fast autofocus, I think this could be your pick. Next up is the video heavyweight, the Panasonic GH4. This one's 480 grams, $1,700, and this will do 4K video. Now, often you hear people saying that something is specialized for video and you may not really know what that means. It pretty much means the codecs that it has and the different file formats it'll write to and the bit rate that it will allow you to write to. This one, compared to some other cameras that might let you record a full HD file of 10, 25, 30 megabytes per second in terms of the amount of data they're writing to the file. This one does up to 200 megabytes per second in the 4K, and it lets you do incredibly high file size full HD as well. Now, if you're trying to keep your file sizes down, that's one thing, but if you're looking for the maximum data from your video, then this is a great option. You do need to pair it then with incredibly fast cards though, so factor that into your budget as well. This also has, great levels control for your audio. It's got headphone out. It's got a good screen. It really is set up for video. Nearly all of the video shot throughout this series has been done on this guy. Currently filming on my Nikon D800, but I found it really good. This one is also a micro four thirds camera, so you can interchange those lenses. But this is kind of a camera review. It's still primarily a stills photography channel, even though video is popping up in all our worlds. So how does it perform in terms of stills? Again, you can see all the shooting I did throughout Manhattan on this guy, but it's really an amazingly spec'd out stills camera as well. A blazing fast frames per second rate that puts all of the others to shame. And the stills images are really quite good. They may be slightly behind the rest of the pack here, but still excellent. And if you're looking for video, this is really, really good video for the price. And it's bringing 4K in at under $2,000. I think this is a really well-rounded camera that's going to suit a lot of people who are doing maybe more of a 50-50 split of video and stills instead of, a 90% stills, 10% video mix. Lucky last is the Sony A7R. It's mid-range in terms of its weight, and if you take out the Leica, which is kind of an outlier in prices, this is the next most expensive at $2,300 for body only. Of course, they do have a couple of models in this range, the A7, then the A7R, and now they've got the A7S coming as well. Look, this is a really well-equipped camera. Take out the word mirrorless from that sentence and, it's just a great camera. 36 megapixel, incredible image quality, full frame sensor compared to the other ones where we had APS-C micro four thirds and only the Leica was full frame. It means that you can use a whole range of your different lenses on there. They have their own adapters, so autofocus and stuff will work with their own Sony and Zeiss lenses. Overall, I really love it. I do think though, once you're putting huge premium quality lenses on the front of it, it does kind of take away from the advantage of mirrorless being such a portable system. Of course, you can put things like Leica lenses on, which are a lot smaller than the equivalent in DSLR lenses. Overall, I really like this. It's a great performer. If you're looking for ultimate image quality and are willing to sacrifice a little on the portability, you want something that's just that little bit smaller than, say, the A99 or whatever's going to follow that on, and you want that huge resolution, then it's really hard to fault this guy. So in conclusion, having looked at all of that, is mirrorless the way of the future? Look, I don't know, maybe. Certainly these 5 offerings are all really lifting the bar, and they're all incredibly well accomplished cameras with their own advantages. The Fuji, great viewfinder and fantastic connectivity. The Olympus, blazing fast autofocus and great stabilization. The Leica, it does have something really special about it and the build quality is just superb. Panasonic, amazing video and still great high-speed shooting, and the Sony, incredible resolution and a great range of lenses with the adapter they already have for that. Look, we've tested micro four thirds APS-C and full frame through this series, and now, full frame, if you want to go to the higher resolutions like the 24 megapixel of the Leica, 36 of the Sony, or you want to retain a high ISO capability and keep your resolution down, the same rules apply as in DSLR, so there is an advantage to that. But for me, the main advantage is it lets you keep your focal length of your lenses if you're going to be using them on an adapter. If you're using a micro four thirds and a 50mm, then you're only getting your field of view of a 100mm. So that's something to keep in mind. But the 4/3 system is just fantastic because it's open source, and it means that your lenses are going to be a lot smaller, and they are coming out with some really great premium lenses there. So thank you for following along with this series. Again, my thanks to Adorama Camera and Adorama Rentals for helping me out with this series. I basically sent them a big list of all the stuff I wanted and then went and picked it up, and now I'm literally about to pack it all up and take it back to them again. So thank you for your support. Please do click the like and subscribe. Share this series with anyone that you think may be interested. It's all in a playlist so you can see it together. Take a moment to check out the Adorama Learning Center. I did also do a video over there for them. Thanks. Leave your thoughts. I'll see you soon.